You're in a meeting, mid-sentence, and you look up. Across the table, one person gives a small nod. Not enthusiastic, not dramatic, just a single deliberate dip of the chin. You keep going, steadier now. What you don't realize is that this nod isn't agreement. It's a signal. And it matters far more than the words anyone says next. We're trained to treat nods as encouragement, as yes, as support. So when it happens, especially from the person with the quiet authority in the room, your brain relaxes. You think the risk has passed. You think you're aligned. But that nod didn't mean I'm with you. It meant I see you. Consider how often this happens without you noticing. A project review where most people are neutral, even distracted. You're explaining a decision that felt obvious when you made it. Halfway through, the most senior person in the room nods once, slowly, while everyone else stays still. Your voice changes. You add detail you hadn't planned. You stop hedging. Later, when the decision is challenged, it's not challenged by them. It's challenged using their language. Or think about a negotiation. Two sides, polite, careful. Numbers are floated and gently dismissed. Then you say something slightly firmer than you meant to. The other person doesn't interrupt. They nod. Not fast, not reassuring. Just enough to register. You interpret it as acceptance. You move on. Hours later, you realize that was the moment the frame shifted. They didn't agree to your position. They let you commit to it. This is where the mistake creeps in. We confuse acknowledgement with alignment. A nod feels like a green light because it reduces uncertainty. Your brain hates social ambiguity, so it fills in the gap with the most comforting explanation. They're on my side. But socially, nods are cheap. They don't cost commitment. They don't lock anyone in. In many settings, they do the opposite. A nod can be a way of marking information, not endorsing it, of signaling that something has been registered and can now be used. Watch how this plays out in more personal spaces. A difficult conversation at a dinner table. You explain why you're upset. The other person nods quietly while you speak. You feel heard. You go further than you planned. You reveal more. Later, you're surprised by how differently they recount the conversation. They never agreed with you. They just let you talk. The nod did its job. It kept you going. The mechanism isn't deception. It's asymmetry. Speaking commits you. Nodding doesn't. When you're the one talking, every sentence narrows your future options. When you're the one nodding, you stay flexible. You gather information without giving any away. That's why nods show up most often at moments of imbalance. When one person has more authority, more leverage, or simply more patience. The nod stabilizes the interaction while quietly shifting control. We rarely notice this because we trust our own social intelligence. We believe we can tell the difference between support and attention. But in the moment, what we're really responding to is relief. The relief of not being challenged. The relief of continuity. And that relief changes how you behave. You stop checking. You stop qualifying. You treat the path ahead as agreed when it isn't. By the time you realize the conversation has moved on and the meaning of that nod has been rewritten. The uncomfortable truth is that the nod mattered precisely because you trusted it. Not because it confirmed you were right, but because it made you certain enough to keep going. The moments that feel like reassurance are often the moments your position becomes most exposed. And the confidence you felt in that nod wasn't protection. It was leverage, just not yours.